Ah, the MK3 Supra and its electrical problems. Yep, these things never disappoint with these never-ending electrical problems. Now, if you have a bad, if your fuel gauge is constantly showing just something or it's not moving at all, this video will show you very shortly how to inspect if it's your fuel sender unit that's faulty. Now, what you're going to have to do is remove this cover that's on top of the sender unit. As you can see, mine is made a bit bigger because I want to be able to pull the fuel pump out also. But this is the sender unit, and you can unbolt these screws and everything. But first things first, get a small piece of this welding wire, as so. And here's the connector of this sender unit. And from the connector, you're gonna see that it has this one white wire. That's the ground. First things first, test the grounding. So place the welding wire into the grounding socket like that, so it stays there. Connect it to a multimeter tester and check that the grounding is okay. So there's the ground there, and here's the ground here. It gives a little beep. The grounding is fine. Next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold this welding wire as so, and you're gonna connect it to each of these three sockets. The first one on the left to the grounding. It's pretty hard to do with one hand, sorry. But the first one to the left, as so, is your I think it's the fuel light. So when we turn the ignition on, you can see that the empty light is now on. Okay, next one, connect the same wire to the front and left and front, how do you call it, this one over there, as so. Just push it in there, go inside the car, turn the ignition on, and your fuel gauge should drop to minimum. As you can see, it's dropping really slowly. So this is the minimum side, and as you know, there's a restrictor, so a small electrical current over there, and now it's just showing empty. And it's dropping slowly, and we know that, okay, the dash is fine, the electrical wiring and everything is fine from the back to the front. So next thing, drop the ignition off once again, go to the back, move the wire to the last place, so that's the to the grounding, like so, and then to the top right socket, like so. And now once it's connected, the needle should start growing and go to the full. And ignition on, and we can see that the needle is starting to move once again. So all in all, this is the most and easiest way to inspect that it's your fuel gauge, I mean the fuel sender unit, that is faulty if your needle is not moving. Because as you can see, everything in this socket, everything from here on to the car is working just fine. So the fault that my needle is not working has to be behind this connector or the wiring or something in this unit. And now you know what you need to fix. Stay tuned. Now, once you have diagnosed that the problem with your fuel sender is actually in the unit that's in the tank, you remove it and you take it on the desk. I have to apologize for my desk. It has a lot of stuff on it already, but this is the fuel sender unit. So it has this arm that moves like that once the fluid goes up, and it changes the resistance within this whole thing. And now how to get this thing open is to pry these small tabs on the corner right here. so this cover goes off, and I'm gonna do that next. Alright, I pried this cover off. It just comes like this. Sorry. It just comes like this off. It's only a very thin sheet metal cover, and inside here you can see how this works. So this is the fuel sender unit, and once the arm moves, it moves on this thing here, and as you might guess, this is a ridiculously stupid system, since it is very loose. It's loosey-goosey like this, and you can check this with multimeter also that it works actually. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next to see if there's still resistance. Then I'm gonna possibly just bend this arm a little bit on the coil and clean the coil thoroughly so that it makes contact once again, because this is very loose, as you can see, and I don't think that there's really a good way to make it any firmer. This looks like a system that cannot be disassembled very easy. I mean, I can try, but there's a small spring in there, and it's supposed to keep this in tension, but I think I'm losing contact here pretty much. But it's very easy to check it with a multimeter. It's just from there to there, and it changes the resistance how this moves along. So very easy thing to check. Alright, this is hooked up. I can get a voltage reading from here through here, and now all I gotta do is move this arm here, and you can hear the beeping and see the resistance. It's moving, and it's keeping that sound to notify me that there's a connection over here to here. There's a connection here, and once I start moving this, the resistor changes a bit at least, but for some reason the sound changes also. So I think there's a problem with this with connection here. I'm gonna start by cleaning everything here, and maybe bending this also against that coil a bit more, and then I'll try this again. Okay, I managed to press this mechanism a bit further here by pressing down this thing. There's a small spring here, and I think it's just slid on this axle, and you can press the little brass square here deeper so that this touches a bit more here. And now it's connected from these terminals to the multimeter, and it's showing a resistance all the way through, and when I move it, it changes the resistance. So now, based on everything that I know, this thing should work. Now let's try it. Alright, so I put the lid on, the small thin sheet metal lid on the thing, and I put this the right way, the same way as it was before, into the gas tank. And now before I do anything else, I want to make sure that my fuel gauge is at the lowest setting as possible in the dashboard, and then I'm going to connect this to the to this and see if the needle starts to rise, because I know that there's almost a full tank of gas here. So let's see if it works. So first let's drop this needle by putting the ignition on. There we go. It's dropping down as low as it can go. Very slowly, but it's moving. Alright, I think that's gonna be low enough, so let's turn the ignition off. Go to the back once again. take our jumper cable off, connect this as it's supposed to be connected, as so. And let's try to put the ignition on and see if our little trick worked. If we were able to fix this fuel gauge. And we have nothing. So I need to try something else. That was not it that would fix the fix my issue. Okay, I've made some progress, but I have no idea why this works as it does. But once I made this kind of jumper cable from the grounding of this this thingy. So it's the grounding wire from this wire loom from the sensor, and as it is connected here, it's not reading correctly on the dashboard. But for some reason, and like I said, I have no idea why, but if I take this jumper cable and I connect it to this side of this this sensor here, I connect it to the blue side here. That's the starting side, I believe, from the coil. If I connect it here, it works like it's supposed to be. So if I connect it here just by touching this, I can see the needle moving on the dashboard, and if I move this to empty, the needle goes to empty. So if I ground this here, it works just fine. But still my the fuel light, it doesn't work at all. I can get it to lit up by touching the sensor here by the earth. By grounding this, I can get it working. I can see it lighting up on the dashboard. I don't think you can see it from here, but it's lighting up as I'm touching it from here. And like I said, if I touch the earth, if I ground this here, it works as it's supposed to be. So I think I can get it working, the dashboard, by just connecting two wires from here. All I need to do is find which wire of these is the blue wire on this side, and that's pretty easy to find by testing from here to here, the connectivity, the connection. And once I put those together, the dash, it should work, and I have no idea why, but I do believe that this unit is faulty because the fuel light doesn't work even when I put it into some liquid or anything, but I can get it to work when I ground it from there. So I think this whole unit is faulty and I need to replace it at some point. But now I can get my fuel gauge at least working at some level by just connecting two wires here. So all I need to do is find that wire and connect these two, and let's see. Okay, I soldered these two wires together, and it was the wires that I connected together was from this side. It was the white and black and the completely black. So now I'm about to test it, if it works as it's supposed to. So hold on. So I have this, right now it's connected. It's outside of the tank, but it's connected. And I'm gonna place this floater to the minimum position first to see if the needle drops on the dash. And that needle is definitely moving. It's going down very slowly, but it's going down. And for some reason the fuel light is very like it's like dimmed, but it's not that as bright as it is when I ground it from the sensor. So like I said, there's gonna be some kind of fault in the in that whole unit. But anyway, the needle is slowly moving down, as you can see. Now let's turn it to the most upright position, so that the tank would be kind of full, like so. And now let's go see if the needle rises. And yes, it is moving upwards. So I have no idea why this works. It's super funny to me. But I guess I need to still see if the needle is kind of in the middle. That does it stay in the middle, or does it constantly move upwards or downwards? Did I screw something up, or does it work as it's supposed to? So I guess we'll just put the whole unit into the tank and let it sit, because there is fuel, but I have no idea how much. So let's see what the needle says. Right, the unit is in. Let's go see what the dash says when I turn the ignition on. God damn it. If there was just that amount of fuel in the tank, I have no idea if the needle works. So I have to drop it down once again manually. Hold on. So the jumper cable is on. The dash is moving slowly downwards, as we can see. And now all we gotta do is wait. For he himself has said it, and it's clearly to his credit, for he's an Englishman, he remains an By the way, the fuel light is completely off for the first time ever. Oh right, that's because the plug is not on, of course. Okay, let's take that off. Go and plug the thing in. Take this off and plug this in. It's kind of difficult to do with one hand. Plug this in as so. And now let's go see if the dash needle goes up when we turn the key. I'm very curious. Yes, it moves up. So I believe that my fuel gauge now is working. At least it's rising at the moment, and it's not going. I have to see how far it rises. So let's wait for a bit. I've been waiting for some time, and the needle doesn't go any further up than that. I don't know if it's accurate, because I filled the gas tank completely full, and I reset the what do you call this, the trip meter back then, and I've done only 143 kilometers after filling the tank completely full, and it shows that it's that much. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's, this doesn't mean that it's only about a half a tank, but I would like to see how the needle acts in the future. Does it go all the way down if it's slow, and does it go all the way up if it's full? I mean, can I trust this now, since I had to do that kind of jumper wire thingy back there? But I'm glad the needle shows at least something. So now all I gotta do, I think I'll refill the car. I refill the tank completely full, see how much it takes, and see if the needle goes all the way up. So let's go to the gas station. Okay, I just started driving, and the needle still goes a bit further up. So looking really good. I'm still gonna drive to to the gas station and fill it up. But just want to say that it's looking good. That the needle is moving slowly, but it's going up all the time. And now I'm gonna drive a bit and see if it goes completely full when I refill the tank, and then I'm gonna drive it for a couple of days and see if it goes any lower, so that just to see that the gauge still works normally. All right, after the trip to the gas station, I filled the car up, and it took 18 liters. So for 150 kilometers, 18 liters of fuel is quite much. But hey, the fuel gauge is working. So happy days. Now a very not very common phrase from a car enthusiast word. From a car enthusiast's mouth is that I want to see my fuel gauge needle drop down. I want to see it working to the other direction also. So now I want to see how it reacts to the fuel consumption and how it reacts to actually using that fuel. So yay, I get to drive this car just for consuming fuel. That's the perfect reason to see if my fuel gauge works, right? Okay, I've been driving on the highway for about 135 kilometers now. It's beginning to be pretty late and the sun is going down, but the needle has dropped. So the gauge is working. That was a good fix. I have no idea why it worked, but I'm glad it did. Thank you and good night.